What if I told you the best suburb in Northern Virginia is one you've probably never even heard of? Everyone talks about Ashburn, everybody talks about Reston, but Brambleton still doesn't get the attention it deserves. Between the elite A+ rated schools, the top-notch resort-style amenities, and the fact that over half the homes are built after 2010, it is basically the holy grail suburb for families right now. So in this video, I'm giving you the inside scoop on what it's actually like living in Brambleton, Virginia. I'm covering the stunning homes, Brambleton Town Center, the outdoor parks, the biggest cons, and a lot more. And you're not gonna wanna miss it, so let's dive right into it. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor. So right out the gate, if you're relocating to Northern Virginia with the family, Brambleton might be the single best suburb in the entire region. And don't just take my word for it, as niche.com ranks Brambleton as the third best place to raise a family in the whole state of Virginia. In fact, I just spent an entire afternoon out there getting drone footage for this video, and the whole time I kept thinking to myself, wow, this place feels special, and I should be living here right now. So what makes Brambleton stand out so much is that it's one of the newest suburbs in all of Northern Virginia, as it broke ground in 2001. So you'll find beautiful newer homes, newer infrastructure, and everything just feels clean, well kept, and picture perfect. But just like anything else in life, living in Brambleton is definitely going to come with some cons as well, which I'll go over later on in the video. So let's kick this video off with the location and map views. So Brambleton is located in Loudoun County and sits right between Ashburn, Aldie, and Leesburg, which is one of the best locations you'll find anywhere in Loudoun County. So Brambleton is going to be about 33 miles away from Washington, D.C. Now, can you live in Brambleton and work in D.C.? Well, the answer is yes and no. If you're going into D.C. like once or twice a week, then yes, it's definitely doable. But if you have to make that drive every single morning and every single night, that 1 hour plus commute will wear you down fast. Then Brambleton is gonna be about 10 miles away from Dulles International Airport, and having an airport right in your backyard is a huge quality of life perk, especially if you travel a lot for work or love going on vacation. So chances are, if you're gonna be living in Brambleton, you're not gonna be working in Brambleton because most of the jobs are in other parts of Northern Virginia or DC. So commuting wise, Brambleton is actually conveniently located right next to the Dulles Greenway, which gives you a straight shot into Ashburn, Herndon, Reston, and Tysons. Then Brambleton's only 3 miles away from the Ashburn Metro Station. So now you can jump on the Metro and take it all over Northern Virginia, DC, and even into Maryland. And this is a massive deal for Brambleton residents who want to skip traffic. And when it comes to fun and entertainment outside of Brambleton, you're only about 20 to 25 minutes away from the best of what Loudoun County has to offer. Like walking around downtown historic Leesburg, enjoying shopping and dining at One Loudoun, and the stunning wineries of Western Loudoun County. So when you live in Brambleton, you're not just getting a beautiful community, you're also close to a ton of great restaurants, shopping, entertainment, outdoor activities, and weekend spots. Next up, let's dive into Brambleton Town Center. Now talk about convenience. Brambleton Town Center is going to be located right in the dead center of Brambleton. So wherever you live in the community, you can be no more than 5 minutes away. And a lot of people are actually within walking distance of the town center. So Brambleton Town Center is going to give you everything you need for your day-to-day convenience, as you will find your grocery store, banking, doctor's offices, ton of great restaurants, a movie theater, a massive sized gym, plus the 40,000 square foot Brambleton Library. And this is probably the best library I've ever seen anywhere in Northern Virginia. Now, this may not seem like a big deal, but Brambleton Town Center now has a gas station. And you're probably thinking to yourself, David, who cares about a gas station? Well, literally for almost 20 years, Brambleton did not have a single gas station. So it used to be super inconvenient, as you literally had to drive 10 to 15 minutes away just to get to the closest gas station. But now this is a non-issue. So you're also gonna find a lot of activities happening in Brambleton Town Center. You'll see concerts, festivals, parades, and then every single Sunday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., you can hit up the farmer's market right there in the town center. And I absolutely love farmer's markets. I don't go to the Brambleton one too often, but I go to the one in Ashburn pretty much almost every single Saturday. Now, I've personally never lived in Brambleton, but I used to live about 3/4 of a mile away from the town center, and my wife and I would go there almost every Friday or Saturday for date night. We'd grab dinner, have a few drinks, walk around, maybe catch a movie. It was generally one of our favorite spots. But now that I live in Loudoun, I don't get out there as often as I used to, but I actually really miss hanging out there on a regular basis. So this is actually one of the biggest differences between living in Brambleton versus Aldi, which is right next door. As I already mentioned, in Brambleton, no matter where you live in the community, you're usually no more than 5 minutes away from the town center. However, in Aldi, you don't really have a central town center like this. So depending on where you live in Aldi, you may be driving 10 to 15 minutes just to get to restaurants, shopping, groceries, or everyday conveniences. And when you're talking about your day-to-day convenience, that difference adds up fast. But without question, when you live in Brambleton, the town center is gonna be a big part of your daily life. Now, as much as I love making YouTube videos about living right here in Northern Virginia, what I love even more is helping folks just like you relocate to the area. So if you're even thinking about moving to Northern Virginia, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Just know I got your back when you move into Northern Virginia. Next up, and this is one of the biggest reasons why people want to move to Brambleton in the first place, and that is the homes. And I know you're gonna like this part. As I briefly mentioned in the intro to this video, over 50% of all the homes in Brambleton were built after 2010. So if you want newer homes with modern finishes, open floor plans, and updated kitchens, then Brambleton absolutely delivers. And as you can imagine, the homes are absolutely stunning. And I think the only place in Northern Virginia that has nicer looking homes than Brambleton is probably right next door in Aldi, and that is saying a lot. So if newer homes are important to you, then Brambleton is one of the top spots in the whole DMV region. Now, Brambleton does offer a wide range of home styles and price points. Whether you're a first-time home buyer looking for an affordable 2-level condo, or you're a move-up buyer and want a 3,000 plus square foot luxury townhouse with a rooftop terrace that's walking distance to the town center, or you're searching for a brick front colonial style single family home to raise your family, or you want a new construction single family home that you can make your own, and if you're 55 or older, Brambleton has you covered as well with Birchwood at Brambleton, which is an active adult community that offers true resort style living. You've got a 20,000 square foot clubhouse, indoor and outdoor swimming pools, and walking trails throughout. So it's low maintenance living at its finest, and you're just minutes away from Brambleton Town Center. So no matter what stage of life you're in, Brambleton has a home for you. Now, I know all this sounds great, beautiful newer homes in a great family-friendly suburb, but there's a huge trade-off, and that trade-off is price, as Brambleton is not a budget suburb. So the medium sales price for a single-family home comes out to $1,225,000, which makes Brambleton one of the most expensive areas in all of Loudoun County. The crazy thing is, Brambleton single-family homes in 2026 are 51% higher than they were back in 2020. So that is an insane amount of growth in such a short period of time. And that growth coincided with the pandemic, which caused a boom in popularity for the outer suburbs with newer homes. But even now, on the other side of the pandemic, Brambleton's popularity hasn't faded at all. If anything, it feels like the demand for this community is at an all-time high. So yes, the homes are beautiful. Yes, the communities are attractive. Yes, you're getting newer housing stock. But Brambleton is not a budget suburb like it used to be, so you're absolutely gonna pay top dollar for it. Now, there is one major downside when it comes to single family homes in Brambleton, but we're gonna talk more about that later on in the video. Now let's talk about the schools, and this is where Brambleton really shines. So according to niche.com's 2026 rankings, Brambleton gets an A+ overall rating for public schools. You literally cannot get higher than that. So kids in Brambleton are gonna be zoned for some of the strongest schools in the entire state. At the high school level, Independence High School is ranked as the second best public high school in the entire state of Virginia by niche.com. And Brambleton Middle School also ranks in the top 10 public middle schools in Virginia. Now, of course, school rankings are just one piece of the puzzle. Niche is only one source, and other school rating websites may rank things differently, so you always have to do your own research. Check the exact school pyramid for the home you're considering, verify everything, and make your own decision that is best for your kid. But overall, if you're a family and schools are a major priority, then Brambleton is definitely gonna be one of the strongest options in Loudoun County and is one of the biggest selling points, and rightfully so. Next up is the Brambleton HOA. So the monthly HOA dues in Brambleton come out to around $237 per month. Now yes, this is definitely on the higher end, probably about double the regional average. But here's the thing, you actually get a lot for that money. First, your cable and internet through Verizon Fios is included, and that alone is worth a significant chunk for that monthly fee. Then you've got common ground maintenance, and this is a big one. Brambleton is not one of the most beautiful communities in Northern Virginia by accident. The grass is always cut, there are flowers everywhere, and the landscaping is immaculate. So the HOA really takes this seriously. Then amenity-wise, if you love being outdoors, then Brambleton's really gonna feel like a paradise. You've got 18 parks spread throughout the community, and we're gonna talk more about parks here shortly. You also have access to 5 community outdoor swimming pools, 18 playgrounds for the kiddos, sports courts including tennis, basketball, and volleyball courts, plus over 18 miles of paved walking and biking trails. So without question, Brambleton is one of the most walkable and outdoor friendly communities in the region. Then you have community events and activities throughout the year, like summer concerts, festivals, comedy nights, trivia nights, holiday celebrations, and a summer pool party kickoff. So you would never run out of fun activities to do while living in Brambleton. So go check out Brambleton.com because it's actually a great resource if you want to learn more about the amenities, parks, walking trails, community events, and everything Brambleton has to offer. They even have a map that shows you where everything is located throughout the community. So in my mind, Brambleton has one of the best HOAs in the region. And yes, the monthly fees are high, but you get a lot of value for that money. Next up is parks, and as I mentioned earlier, you'll find 18 parks throughout Brambleton. Now there's 2 parks I want to highlight specifically, and the first one is Brambleton Regional Park and Golf Course. So if you love golf, then you're absolutely gonna love having an 18-hole public golf course basically in your backyard. And the best part is the rates are extremely affordable, ranging anywhere from $30 to $75 for a round. Now I do have to say this, before you invite me out for a round of golf, just know that I'm almost certainly the worst golfer in all of Loudoun County. Like I literally can't even hit the ball, it's so embarrassing. So I'm probably not the guy you want as your playing partner. Then you have Holland Bernie Hansen Regional Park, which is a newly opened 257-acre regional park, and this park is massive and I believe is probably one of the best parks anywhere in Loudoun County. Literally, this park has everything you can imagine. It has baseball fields, soccer fields, a skate park, an off-leash area for dogs, picnic areas, ponds all throughout, a fishing pier. It even has a splash pad, which my 3-year-old daughter absolutely goes crazy for. And weather permitting, we will be at this park this weekend. So between the parks, the trails, the 5 swimming pools, and everything else Brambleton has to offer, from an amenity standpoint, this community is truly hard to beat. But just like anything else in life, Brambleton definitely comes with some cons as well. Now, Brambleton doesn't have one major con that could be a deal breaker like many other suburbs, but it has a few cons you will definitely want to know about. The first con is home prices, as Brambleton is not a budget suburb, and not even close. The lifestyle here is no longer a secret. People know how good this community is, and the Brambleton Premium has officially hit an all-time high. And as I mentioned earlier, the median sales price for a single-family home is well over $1.2 million, and that is a lot of money. Now with that being said, in life you get what you pay for, and in my opinion, Brambleton is one of the few places in Northern Virginia where I believe you get a lot of value for what you're spending. The second con is lot sizes. So if you want real land, you're not gonna find it in Brambleton, as 1/4 acre lots are the norm. In fact, only a handful of lots are 1/2 acre, and not one single home in all of Brambleton has over an acre. So if having a big private lot is non-negotiable for you, then Brambleton unfortunately is probably not gonna be the best fit. And the third con is, and this is a smaller one, but Brambleton skews heavily towards families, as it is one of the best places in Northern Virginia to raise kids. But if you're a young single professional in your 20s or early 30s, and you're looking for nightlife, a young social scene, and walkability to bars and restaurants, then Brambleton should not be your first choice. Areas like Brambleton Town Center, Arlington, and Alexandria are gonna be a much better fit for that lifestyle. So I'm 43 years old, family of 3. I would literally move to Brambleton tomorrow because it is a great place to raise a family, but I know my 30-year-old single self with no kids, there's no way that version of David would want to live in Brambleton. At that age, I wanted to be close to the action and pretty much as close to DC as possible. So yes, Brambleton is generally one of the best suburbs in all of Northern Virginia, and I'll be honest with you, of all the places I can see myself living in Loudoun County, Brambleton's gonna be right at the top of that list. It's clean, it's beautiful, the schools are elite, the amenities are top-notch, and the community actually feels like a community. Now, is it for everyone? Absolutely not. The home prices are high, The lot sizes are what they are, but if you are relocating to Northern Virginia with the family, I would absolutely put Brambleton on your must-visit list before you make any decisions. And if you want to continue your research, check out this video right here. I cover everything that you need to know about living in Ashburn, Virginia, which is right next door. And trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. And I'll see you in the next video.